Christmas, you filthy animals. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's Friday. That means it's time for the Rex and Robbie Show. And you can't have the Rex and Robbie Show without Robbie. That's me. And without Rex. What is up, my man?
What's up, guys? I know Marcus in the house, dude. I know we are running a little late. I was ready.
Yeah. Somebody had too good of a time last night and then didn't wake up in time. So I'm not going to name names, Rex. But
and the worst part about it is whoever imbibed a little bit too much was not paid for doing it either.
That's right.
See, you're falling short, buddy, because usually you get paid for that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm paying for it now. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you're paying for it, but normally people are like paying you. I still want to know where I got to line up to sign up for that kind of gig.
Oh, you just got to start a YouTube channel and see what happens. maybe you can get lucky. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, happy holiday season, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Rex and Robbie Show. We could have easily talked about James Gunn again today because once again, he's in the news. Black Adam's out of the DCU. The dude that plays Shazam says, no, I'm still in. I still think they're all out. I think it's all a reboot. An all start over.
I think it's a hard reboot. I mean, I think Shazam might be able to kind of dance around that cusp a little bit. I mean, we know that the Batman and Joker movies are coming out. Okay, regardless, in my opinion, regardless of what Gunn and Safran say, only because now you're looking at money. They worked, they were successful, so there's no way the executives are walking away from that. And I think it can happen. It can exist outside the James Gunn universe. So I think that'll work. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it. It's clear the direction it's going, and he's trying to. I can see James Gunn's trying to appease the fans, but I think what's interesting is that he did make a statement. Obviously, what happened with bringing back the Zack Snyder version of Justice League, he kind of put in that statement that, like, look, you guys can scream and yell and get your torches and your pitchforks and start marching on the castle, but at the end of the day, that's not going to change the direction we're going to go in. And I think that's a good thing. Nerdtastic, thank you, buddy. I wish I had something to take a shot of. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate the thought, man. It gets me right there. I'm touched. The holiday season, so to speak. You tell me
y'all ain't stocked on peppermint schnapps during the holiday season in the Dynamite office?
Dude, I can't stand schnapps. It's like drinking maple syrup. I cannot do it. I had a period in my my mid-20s where I had some good friends, and we go and this is really a game for people from the Midwest. I don't even know if I remember how to play, but my first ex-wife, we were good friends with this couple, and they introduced me a game called, obviously, something from the Midwest called euchre, which I absolutely love that game. I cannot even tell you. It is shoot a shot of Spam, Rex. I have the Spam. I forgot to take it home last night. I am breaking this out at Christmas dinner. I imagine I will be the only one eating the limited edition figgy pudding, but I'm doing it anyway. The heck with it. All right. But
we'll be expecting a report on Wednesday. So
well, euchre was such a great game. It was kind of like spades or hearts, but far less complicated. So while you're drinking, it's far easier, to play because there's less to remember. But I remember it was great. It was always me, my buddy, and his wife and my ex-wife on teams. And we used to just mercilessly cheat, I mean, it was horrible. They call us out on it, but we didn't care. By the time we got to like the middle of the session, it was crazy. I mean, me and my buddy had so many beers and shots of schnapps. He loved the peach schnapps. Oh, dude, and he make me shoot it. And I as a good guest, I would do it, but I couldn't stand it. I really couldn't. It was like I felt like it was drinking maple syrup. I couldn't.
Yeah, I could actually drink peach schnapps on its own just because I like peach, like candy, fake peach flavoring so much. But like, it's best obviously mixed with something. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm a big fan of bourbon. As we've discussed, numerous times on the show. But my buddy, he couldn't take shots of bourbon because his wife would not allow him to. And the reason was apparently under the influence of any really, actually, it was any type of whiskey. So it could be scotch, it could be bourbon, it could be rye. It didn't really matter. It turned him into an evil, nasty human being. And apparently there's a big story from years and years ago where where my buddy got really hammered on shots of bourbon, and they almost got a divorce. So his wife would not allow him. But schnapps, apparently, not the same effect. Don't know why. So I just muscled through it.
Because it's mostly sugar. The sugar content over alcohol.
I guess. I don't know. But it's the same way with me. I absolutely was a huge Scotch fan through the years. Single malt, blended, didn't matter. A huge Scotch fan, a connoisseur, but I was apparently told by a bunch of people very close to me that I need to abstain from drinking Scotch. Apparently it made me into a real jerk. And I think there were a couple of videotaped pieces of evidence, and it was presented to me at a semi-intervention about me and my buddy Scotch. And yeah, unlike George Thorogood, I could not call Scotch my buddy. I wanted to. It was like that person, that real cool person you want to be friends with, but had no time for you. Yeah, that's my relationship with Scotch.
Well, speaking of overindulging and cups of cheer, we're here to talk about our favorite Christmas movies today, because Christmas is 2 days from now. And how cold is it?
Hungover. How cold really are hungover? That was one of the worst segues I've ever heard you make.
Yeah, I am. How cold? What's the temperature where you're at?
The temperature right now is not bad. The temperature right now is somewhere in the low 50s, but by 4 p.m. today, it's going to drop into the teens. Like, we're going to see that kind of dramatic, that the cold front's coming in. They've been talking about it, obviously, on the news all week. They're so excited about it on the weather channels.
I bet it's 8 degrees here right now.
Yeah, we're getting what you've got right now. It's moving its way in. So it's just really weird. Yesterday was not bad. Lots of rain. We've had tons of it's still wet outside, just tons of rain. So now they're talking about flash freeze. Man, these weather people, they really live for this stuff, dude. Because what are they gonna say? Oh, it's a beautiful day, partly cloudy, about 64 degrees, no rain in the forecast. Who listens to that, right? But as soon as there's bad weather, they're hopping all over it. So yeah, everyone flash frost. Be careful. If it's not dried, it's all gonna freeze up and whatever.
Yeah, it was wild yesterday. It was like 50 degrees, and then within an hour, that they had dropped down like to 30, and then it just kept dropping and lower and lower. And we didn't get no snow out of it. It's just ass cold here.
I got to be honest with you. I don't want to deal with snow. Okay. I mean, I don't mind snow on the weekends. I do not want to deal with snow during the week. Everybody drives like a moron. I got to shovel my driveway, which I absolutely hate to do. It's the Widowmaker. I mean, seriously, right? I even had not a snow blower, but a snow thrower that somebody bought me for Christmas years and years ago. But the way, I park my car in my driveway. I don't have a long driveway, but I park my car in the driveway, right? To kind of like keep that one part of the driveway snow free, so to speak. But then if it snows too hard, I can't back the car out without shoveling. But then I usually park so close to the garage door that it's like a real hassle to get the snow thrower out and then, deal with that little bit of snow between the car and the garage door and then get around the back to do all that because, it turned out I stopped using it. It became more of a hassle to drag it out of the garage, get it all set up, do that one little section, and then drag it around the car to do the other section so I can actually pull the car out.
Yeah.
So I just gave up. If it's on a weekend, dude, I won't even shovel my driveway. People say, well, somebody could slip. I'm like, well, then stay off my property. Stay the hell off my property then, and you won't slip.
Yeah. What are you doing on my driveway?
That's right. Exactly. Go over there. Go to my neighbor's house.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, but so it's super cold here, and I know it's cold for a lot of people across the country. Apparently, Comic Toby is feeling good. It's sunny and 65 where he is. Thank you for that super chat.
I Comic Toby, and I mean this in the most loving holiday cheer sort of way. Sunny and 65, we hate you, Comic Toby. I'm just saying, nothing personal. But you don't want to come on here and tell us it's sunny and 65 when I expect to leave this office this afternoon and expect it to be about 14 degrees outside. That probably is what bothers me the most is that, people say, all the politics about climate change. Climate change is not about politics. Oh, Marcus, I'll meet my anchovy pizza delivery guy out on the street. No problem. He doesn't have to come up my driveway to avoid that problem. But really, I remember growing up, and I grew up in this area. I grew up in Philadelphia, and I remember, you'd have 6 hard weeks of cold weather. It was just winter, right? So you accept that. Snow, maybe it wouldn't, whatever. But it was cold for 6 hard weeks. You might get a balmy day, and it might get up to like 38 degrees, whatever. But that was winter. To see it drop, I mean, literally, when I woke up and left my house this morning, I was bundled up, but I was carrying my coat and stuff because I knew, due to the weather forecast, by the time I leave my office, it's going to be like in the teens. So 50 degrees down to the teens, that is a 30+ degree drop in the span of the normal day. That never used to happen, dude. And it's happening a lot. I see it a lot. Like it's crazy. We played in a tournament locally, actually a softball complex. My daughter, she hit her first over the fence home run when she was 12 at this place. So it's home territory for us. So not far from where I live. And in the first weekend in November, I was wearing shorts at that tournament. It was so hot.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's November, 2 weeks from Thanksgiving, and I'm wearing shorts like it's July.
Yeah.
That's weird, dude. So yes, I believe climate change is real, people.
Yeah, for real. At least it changed today. The climate
change. Because I live about an hour from the beach, right? The Jersey Shore. The way it's changing, I'm actually, my retirement plan is that my house will turn into beachfront property before too long.
Hey, that could be a good thing for you, right?
Well, it depends on which side the beach shows up on.
Yeah, right. That's almost like Lex Luthor's whole plot in the first Superman movie. Almost.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Gene Hackman, I remember. Yeah, he actually played a great Lex Luthor.
You're like, why is he buying all this random desert property?
Yeah, it was a good plot line, really. I really liked it.
Otisburg.
And remember the girlfriend, and she's like, my mom lives in Hackensack. And I'll never forget that scene where Gene Hackman looks at his watch and goes, not anymore.
Yeah, he just like shakes his head no. It's like, so cold, bruh. So cold.
Yeah, I know, it was cold-blooded. He's like, not anymore. Oh my God, I'll never forget that scene. I love that scene.
Yep, and that's why Miss Tessmacher helped Superman.
Tessmacher, that's it.
Right, yeah. Miss Tessmacher? Anyway.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so there's lots of Christmas holiday movies out there. Some of them are considered traditional. Some of them are considered weird stretches. Some of them, I don't care. If a movie takes place during Christmas, if a movie makes you feel like it's the holiday season, then it's a Christmas movie to me. So, Rex, I'm curious.
Or something that you watch that time of year, every year, or more or less. Yeah. Right. That to me is the definition of a Christmas movie. It doesn't have to be all about Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. Have you watched any Christmas movies or anything this season yet?
I'll be honest with you. I saw the latest. I just happened to be on TV and I was doing something on the computer. It was the latest animated version in the Pixar style of The Grinch, which had Cumberbatch was the voiceover, I think.
Okay.
So that was a new one that I saw, which was okay. And then there's one I want to watch that I was going to watch last night. I got distracted. The one with what's his face? The guy that was in the Hellboy reboot.
Oh, David Harbour.
Yeah.
You're talking about Violent Night.
Yes,
dude. I watched Violent Night last night.
And what'd you think?
I had a lot of fun. It's Die Hard in a residential home instead of an office tower, and instead of John McClane, there's Santa Claus. It was awesome.
I think I'm probably gonna watch that tonight. A buddy of mine told me about it and reminded me of it, and he was gonna watch it last night. And I said I'd watch it, but then I got distracted.
Yeah, I think you'll have a lot
sometimes
of fun.
Sometimes I feel like a movie I really want to watch is different than, and this is the problem not going to movie theaters, is different than a movie, that I've got on kind of like as white noise. Something I've seen before, I'll work on the computer and then, there's scenes you want to see. But if there's a movie I've never seen before, I really want to watch it. I don't want to be distracted. And I felt like last time I was going to get distracted. So,
yeah, I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. I think you'll like it. Like I said, it is.
Well, I like David Harbour a lot.
Yeah, he's great in it. And it is straight up Die Hard. Like, they're not even hiding it. Like, there's so many homages and little Easter eggs and stuff. And
cool.
It's pretty good. And another one that I watched that's new, it's a new horror film, but it was on Shudder. It's called Christmas Bloody Christmas. And so it's about these government cyborg robot soldiers, right? That have been recommissioned to be toy store like Santas, like interactive Santas. And then one of them reverts to his old programming and slaughters this town. So it's like a robot killer Santa. And it was awesome. I loved it so much. It's very, very 80s feeling. It was really, really cool.
I've never really gotten into the kind of horror Christmas kind of. For me, it felt like it was totally contrary to the spirit of the season. So I've never really gotten into that.
I feel you. Well, I got a few of those on my list. I'm curious, what do you have on your list, Rex? What would you?
All right. Well, I'm going to throw out the first one is the most obvious because you already had it on the thumbnail before the show. Gremlins, obviously. Okay. This is one of those movies that people say, well, it's not really a Christmas movie, but it is. It takes place during Christmas. It came out during Christmas. So I guess, when I say I've never really done a horror genre for Christmas, I guess this is the one exception. All right, because it was horror, but no, it wasn't. It kind of had a foot in all these different genres, which I thought made it really, really, really very unique. The whole concept of the Gremlins. What do you call it? What was that guy's name? Zach Galligan. His career didn't really go too far after that.
No.
And then of course Phoebe Cates, who everybody had a crush on during that era, starting with Fast Time at Ridgemont High. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. But yeah, so to me it was very unique when it came out, and the concept of the water and everything else. It was just a good movie all in all.
Yeah, Gremlins is my number one. It's my number one favorite. I've been obsessed with it since I was a kid. I mean, it came out in 84. I'm like 3. I don't remember when I first saw it, but I don't ever remember not knowing about Gremlins, basically. Right. Like, I love Gremlins. I got my little Santa stripe and my little Santa gizmo right there. It is a holiday movie. I've had this discussion with people. I hate how people always want to prove that your favorite holiday films aren't holiday films sometimes. And I'm like, how is it not a Christmas film? Gizmo is literally a Christmas gift. This is about the gift that keeps on giving as long as you apply water. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great. And the Gremlins are green. They got red eyes. Like, it's a Christmas movie. That whole movie is filled with Christmas. The Jerry Goldsmith score has got tons of references to Christmas musical cues and stuff. And Joe Dante, of course, the director, Steven Spielberg, the producer, and Chris Columbus, the writer. So it was written to be a straight horror film, right? And then they brought in Joe Dante, and Spielberg kind of, gave it that Spielberg effect where he was like, we could really make this very widespread by just toning certain things down. And I still love that movie. It's absolutely one of my best and at the top of my list for sure.
To me, there's only really 2 criteria. Number one, that Christmas is in the movie on some level, right? And number 2, that it was released around Christmas time. To me, those are really the only 2 criteria that need to qualify as a Christmas movie.
I want to say Gremlins was actually released in the summer.
Was it?
I think it was. Like you see it happen a lot. Let me see. Yeah, it was released in June of 1984.
Really?
Yeah, but there's another Christmas movie on my list. I'll go ahead and knock this one out then. That also was released in like June, but it's very Christmas, and we just covered it on PCP Movie Night. Batman Returns. I love Batman Returns. It is a Christmas movie. They got the trees. Gotham looks great, covered in snow with all the Christmas lights. You got the circus gang attacking. But it's also about the melancholy that some people have during Christmas, especially Batman and Catwoman and what they're going through and how the Penguin represents that. And I absolutely love the movie. We covered it a couple weeks ago, so if y'all haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend. But Batman Returns is definitely on my list too.
I would say I never thought of it really as a Christmas movie, but now that you mention it, now I kind of get it. So I would definitely, it did make my list, but I definitely think that it would qualify as well.
Oh, for sure. What else you got then, Rex?
All right. So then next up, let's see. All right. Well, since Perry Gaming mentioned it, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It really is just, it becomes classic. I would say that probably is one of certainly of recent years, maybe the last 20, it almost seems like I've watched it every Christmas time. And there's so many lines and so many scenes in there that have just become part of it. You know what I mean? And we reference it and so on and so forth. So it really is.
Shit
and out of
cool.
that, actually, yeah. After you know, that series of movies, obviously the first one was hilarious, but it was also rated R. I don't know how many people realize that. And then of course I would say the Christmas Vacation is really one of the best ones that came out of it.
Yeah, I love Christmas Vacation. I always loved the scene where they're eating the turkey, right? And everybody's just chewing, like, and when he cuts into it, and it just deflates.
it explodes.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
The dog, the cat. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's a real fun movie. I haven't seen that one in a while. I need to check that one out.
Well, it's become like something that a movie that so much of it you relive those scenes, you know. And you talk about it, you know, the scenes and cousin Cousin Eddie, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see, there's so many people completely deck out their houses, you know, looking like national. Like I think there's somebody, I forget where they were, somewhere in the country. They've got pretty much the whole thing, the car, everything, you know, sprawled out in the front yard. To me, that's awesome.
Isn't the name of the family like the Griswolds or something in that?
Yeah, the Griswolds. Yeah.
Okay, because in Christmas Bloody Christmas, which is the horror film I was talking about earlier, there's a family who's like a neighbor to one of the places where a lot of the action takes place, and they just have a ridiculous amount of Christmas lights up, and they call them the Griswolds, and you get to see them get murdered.
Right. It's become a part of American culture, I guess, Americana culture, if you will, you know, as it pertains to Christmas. So that really is probably one of my favorite, you know, if you want to talk about Christmas time movies.
Yeah, that's one of them. Obviously, me, I'm a horror guy, so I like a lot of holiday horror. It's always fun to have an excuse to watch more horror films, you know. One of my absolute favorites is Black Christmas. Black Christmas from 1974. It's about the sorority house where there's this creepy psycho dude who's like basically up in the attic, and he's got a phone that's on a different line, but in the house. So he's like calling these girls, harassing them, and slowly killing them one by one. But it is incredibly creepy, unnerving. I love the atmosphere of it. It's directed by Bob Clark, who also directed A Christmas Story. So he gave us Black Christmas, which is one of the best horror Christmas movies. And then he gave us A Christmas Story, which a lot of people consider one of the best, like family-oriented, nostalgia-driven Christmas movies. So Black Christmas is one that I absolutely love.
Haven't seen it. As I said, I kind of avoid Christmas quote unquote horror movies, if you will.
Well, that's why I'm here, to cover that side of it, right?
There you go.
What else you got, bro?
All right, so let's stick with the non-traditional ones. Obviously, okay, so this is the one that I'd say was the one that actually started the argument. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? And of course, it would be Die Hard. Okay, you know, I think that was the first movie where people started that argument. That's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
to me, it's a Christmas movie. Nakatomi Tower, the whole 9 yards. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas party. Okay, so there you go. It was obviously a huge hit when it came out. I mean, it was something we hadn't really seen before. Put Bruce Willis, I think, on a different level. All of a sudden, you know, he was for real, if you will. I mean, before that, he was in that TV series. What was it?
Moonlighting.
That's right. So I think it kind of separated him a little bit, that movie. But of course, to me, one of the best, most enjoyable Christmas movies, obviously.
I love Die Hard. I love it. And it is so silly to see every year this argument take place of people being like, it's not a Christmas movie. I mean, bruh, like, it's a Christmas movie. It's an office Christmas party. He's coming home. He's trying to reconnect with his wife during Christmas.
Yeah,
it's a Christmas movie. There's Christmas props. There's all kind of ho, ho, ho. Now I got a machine gun and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on. Yeah. It's totally a Christmas movie. And I absolutely adore it. Die Hard, an action thrill movie with lots of laughs.
Exactly.
There's a lot of action movies that are Christmas movies, like a lot. And we'll get to some of them. Now, obviously, I love A Christmas Carol. And I saw that Jay, I think, mentioned that he liked the Albert Finney one. Yeah. And The George C. Scott one is awesome too. Even the Muppet Christmas Carol. But my favorite take on a Christmas Carol is the Bill Murray movie Scrooged.
That's on my list as well.
And I loved that movie growing up, and I still love it. We covered it last year for movie night for Christmas time, and it still holds up to me. I love it. It's funny.
It's very well done. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's on my list. It is. I think it was the most creative because a Christmas Carol has been done so many different times in so many different ways, and they very rarely veer off the off that script. It's usually almost the same. And Scrooge was one of the few that was, adhered to the story, but was very substantially different. And that to me was the big thing. Nerdtastic. I like the Muppets one as well, especially with my daughter growing up, but still it just followed the storyline very religiously. Only difference, obviously, is you got Muppets instead of people. But Scrooge really took it and spun it on its head and gave you an entirely different perspective on it. So that's why I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love the bit of making him like a media mogul, right? And having the Greek show up in that. It's directed by Richard Donner, who is a fantastic director. We lost him not too long ago. Bill Murray's performance is amazing. All three of the ghosts are amazing. I remember being a kid. The Ghost of Christmas Future scared the hell out of me when I was a kid because he had that like TV like face or something going on, like that scene in the elevator. Like it really, really got
to
me.
The best was what's her face? Oh, I forget. Oh, what's her name? The actress.
Yeah, from When a Stranger Calls and Taxi, right?
Yeah. Oh, she was the best. She just kept hitting him and slapping him. That was the best.
I'm gonna find out what her name is. That movie came out in 80. Carol Kane. Why could I not remember?
That's right.
Yeah, she's awesome in that, man. And
that was just hilarious.
Who's the dude that plays
slapping him around?
Yeah, then you got like David Johannesson, right? But like that's Buster Poindexter, basically, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. What else you got then, Rex?
All right, so then another one that would fit into the same argument is obviously Trading Places. That was, with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, they were hilarious together. All right, the whole movie, and obviously I have a personal reason to love this movie because it was actually filmed in Philadelphia. So I know the building it was filmed in and everything else. So it was a tremendous. I loved it. The acting was fantastic. Dan Aykroyd was great.
Am I allowed to pop in?
Sure.
Hi, Merry Christmas. Hi, Robbie.
So Dan Aykroyd, we're doing best Christmas movies.
Oh, fun.
Dan Aykroyd was great. Eddie Murphy was great. Obviously, both
Trading
of them.
Places?
Both.
I rewatched that recently.
Yeah, I mean that was and definitely a Christmas movie since it takes place at Christmas. When Dan Aykroyd hits rock bottom, I'll never forget when he's in that Santa costume. And he's eating that salmon. Remember, he starts eating part of the beard.
Yes.
Nasty.
Dude, you are so drunk, bro. So yeah, so that to me was another one. So I think everything I've mentioned, with the exception of you mentioned Scrooge, could fit into that Die Hard argument. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not?
Yeah, we were doing I have some friends that have a podcast called Geeks Unleashed. And a couple years ago, we did a show where we were talking about we were supposed to pitch our favorite Christmas movie. And mine was Gremlins. And then another person had Die Hard. And our friend Jasmine brought up Trading Places. And I always forget that was a Christmas movie. And it's always been something in the back of my head that I got to watch.
Yeah, it does work for New Year's. It's a holiday movie, if you will.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
Well, we got to check our mail. I don't know if your stuff came in.
Yeah, John, it might be in the back. So we will definitely email you, buddy, once we get it in. But thank you, John.
Thank you. Yes,
totally unnecessary, John Spilios. That's super cool though. We appreciate it. Best community ever.
John's great. John's fantastic. What about you, Amy? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
I've been rewatching a lot of them lately. I briefly heard you guys covered a bunch of Christmas carols.
Yeah, we picked Scrooge as the best one with Bill Murray as the best version of A Christmas Carol.
A new one that came out this year, it's Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
I haven't seen that one.
I've
I've
actually
heard that
really
one,
enjoyed it because they do the freshest spin on the story that I've seen in years, probably since Scrooged.
I have
But
to check it out.
I do
Yeah, I have to
recommend that. I'm gonna rewatch Batman Returns tonight. That's technically a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Robbie mentioned that earlier. Before he came in.
I know at some point tomorrow my mom and I will be watching A Christmas Story. Love that. And we still gotta knock out Charlie Brown and the original Grinch. So those are our traditions.
Very nice.
Well,
Very nice.
the original Grinch, you can't really call it a movie. It's really a TV show.
Christmas special.
It's Christmas special.
Yeah.
See, John
we're not
Jones, it was awesome. Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yeah, I need to check that one out. I don't even know if I've heard about that one.
I think I saw a trailer.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, I thought I saw a trailer or something. Oh, I don't have Apple TV, so I won't be able to watch it because I ain't picking up another streaming service, dude.
Yeah, I ain't got Apple TV either. We'll have to figure out another way to go. Another one I want to mention is another Richard Donner film because he did Scrooged, and I know a lot of people always like to gang on Die Hard and be like that's like the action Christmas movie. But we can't forget that Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie as well. The first,
Weapon,
like almost everything that Shane Black writes is a Christmas movie, right? The Lethal Weapon movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, even Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie. He loves that time of year, I guess. I don't know. But Lethal Weapon is a great movie on its own, but it is a Christmas movie. It doesn't get filled with as much Christmas atmosphere as others because it takes place in California, I think. So it's very, it's an LA.
That's
Christmas.
my point. I never considered it, although I see where you're going with it. I never considered it because, I never thought of it that way. It is in California, so there's no snow on the ground or anything like that. There, really the only Christmas thing I remember is when what's his face ran a car into Murtaugh's house. Yeah. And he took out the Christmas tree. That's what I remember, But
there's that whole bit where we first meet Riggs, right? And he's like,
oh, right. It was a Christmas tree a lot. Yeah, that's
exactly,
right. That's right.
So it's there, and it's actually a very powerful movie about depression during this season, right? Because a lot of people don't.
No, I loved it. I love Lethal Weapon.
That movie's heavy on some of what it's trying to talk about. Like when they're confronting each other, he's like, "Look, dude, if you got a death wish, pull the trigger right now." Like, it gets pretty hardcore, and that's I love that one. So I always like to mention Lethal Weapon as one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Didn't think of it, but that is a good choice.
You got anything else, Rex?
All right, I got 3 more. All right, so I'll bang them right out. So another one that I really enjoyed, it's just right place, right time, is obviously Home Alone. That was a unique movie in and of itself. Obviously. Up. What's that?
It holds up.
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah.
And then obviously my newest one has got to be Hawkeye, which we've talked about before, right? But not really a movie, but still. And then just to close it off as a traditional one is I've got to say the original It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed and stuff. And I didn't really appreciate it as a kid. It would come on every year, obviously, a network TV. I didn't appreciate it because I am from that generation, right? Where my parents owned black and white TVs. Even though there were shows that were broadcast in color, we owned a black and white TV. So I remember getting our first color TV, and I remember this kind of determined, I'm not watching black and white. We have color. Why would I watch black and white anymore? And it wasn't until I guess I turned into an adult that I kind of appreciated, whoa.
Holy cow, Spilio.
Oh, John.
Spilios. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Man, that is so generous, brother. Oh, you go on a cruise tomorrow. Have a great time. Nice. Obviously, be careful. But that's awesome. We would love to, we hope you have a great time, buddy, on the cruise. Nobody deserves it more than you.
John, you really deserve, Rex, you really deserve a shot now, right? Like this is your opportunity. Like if you only had something.
I got nothing. I would almost take one now. Yeah, day drinking. It's all right.
Spilios, you're way too kind, man. Thank you so much. I love you, and thank you for being a part of our community here. We have the best.
One of the best. Seriously, one of the best John Spilios out there.
And enjoy the cruise. That sounds awesome. That sounds way better than being in like an 8-degree town, like freezing.
Yeah, right. But It's a Wonderful Life. I start to really appreciate it as a kid. Or as an adult, rather, not as a kid. because of the story behind it still holds up, right? You know, we all get that point in our lives where you know, we feel like, have we made any difference? You know, and the movie and the entire premise of the movie is that you did make a difference, and here's how. You know, and I think as you get older, that movie becomes more and more relevant.
That movie's not Christmas until the final act.
But it's always been a Christmas movie. Okay, it's always I mean, this one, unlike a Die Hard or, you know, some of the other movies, it was specifically a Christmas movie. And as Robbie had said, dealing with depression and Lethal Weapon, I think it really, and given the era, I mean, this movie's what, 70, 80 years old. Given the era that we're talking about, where people, you know, you didn't talk about mental health. You know, everybody's attitude during that period of history was, you know, rub some dirt on it, walk it off, you're fine. And it really kind of dealt with it, because you look at Jimmy Stewart, the main character. What is he? He's a guy who's very, very depressed around this time of year, which many, many people are, and beginning to question the meaning of life and his existence. And has he really made any kind of difference? Would the world have just been better off if he didn't exist? And then the movie goes on to show you what happens if he didn't exist. You know, and I think that more than anything else probably makes it the most significant Christmas movie, because I don't care if it's Christmas or any other time, but it does seem to happen around Christmas more than any other time of the year.
Yeah.
Makes you have to say, hey, no matter how down you are, no matter how little of a difference you think you've made in the world, believe me, you have made a difference. You just don't know it. So to me, that really was more critical than anything else.
Yeah, I was just watching the second episode of the Batman animated series, which is Christmas with the Joker. And the whole thing of that is like Robin's trying to convince Batman not to go out on patrol, because he's like, nothing's going to happen on Christmas. Stay here and watch It's a Wonderful Life with me. And I love it because Batman's like, never watched that film. Couldn't get over the title. Of course, Batman's like a Scrooge around Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, he goes out and there is no crime going on. Everybody's actually being, you know, in the Christmas spirit. So they go back home to watch it. But then the Joker attacks, right? And so it's always fun. I got three more then. I'll run through real quick. Go, which is a 1999 Doug Liman film. Kind of about that 90s rave culture, dance club culture.
I'll be right back and see if they have John's thing.
It is a Christmas movie, though, and it's really, really good. We covered that not too long ago on PCP Movie Night. And then Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is a fantastic film, in my opinion. It's got one of my favorite scream queens in it, Linnea Quigley. She gets picked up and like impaled on a deer rack. So that's always awesome. I'm not talking about any of the sequels. I just mean the original one. I absolutely love that movie. And another one, there's this holy...
Yeah, it's not Christmas unless somebody gets impaled on antlers.
You know it, right? Part of what I consider the holy Christmas trinity of action franchises, First Blood is a Christmas movie. And a lot of people a lot of people don't remember that because it's not in your face with it, but like you can tell it just by like when they're in the like sheriff's office.
Yeah, they're the Christmas
tree or something like that, right? But I love First Blood. And another one talking about like, you know, I love that that's set around Christmas because there's a lot of, especially at that time and even today, there's a lot of like war veterans who don't have a place to go during this time of the year, right? And I love how nuanced that movie is. Now, I hear the book is absolutely amazing, but I love the movie. So Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and First Blood to me are I consider them like my Christmas action trilogy, and I love that movie. So that's what I would say for sure.
OUG in the house, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Kenneth Bird, hey buddy, I hope you're doing well. So you know, I mean, there are a lot of different movies, I mean, you know, out there, but to me, probably, you know, It's a Wonderful Life kind of sums it all up for me. I really, and as I get older, it becomes more and more significant, you know, dealing with a lot of issues I think everybody deals with. It's one thing, you know, Christmas is one thing when you're a child. It's another thing when you're an adult, definitely. Yeah,
and I love, you know, I haven't seen that movie in years, so maybe this year I should dust it off and check it out. It's a Frank Capra film. I'm a big fan of him. Yep. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It Happened One Night. It's a Wonderful Life. He's a fantastic filmmaker, and I love pretty much everything I've ever seen from him. So maybe I should rewatch that. You watch Violent Night tonight if you can, because I think you'll really, really appreciate that.
Yeah. As I said, I'm a big fan of David Harbour, and I saw the trailer, and it didn't seem as goofy as it could potentially be, but it looked amusing. And I think David Harbour, his reboot of Hellboy wasn't his fault. I thought he did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, it was a tough hill to climb there.
Yeah, and they give Santa an interesting backstory in this one. I really like what they did there. So, yeah, and Spilio says Violent Night was freaking amazing.
He clearly liked it. Yeah,
I watched it last night. Had a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. So, hopefully you guys got some suggestions on movies to watch this weekend when you're celebrating the holiday season, whether you're alone or with your family or with your, whoever. Just everybody, this is the time of the year where we're supposed to take care of each other. In fact, we should take care of each other all the time throughout the year, even if you wake up hungover on a Friday. You know what I'm saying? And John, thank you so much. I'm glad that we could help you out during some rough times. Y'all have definitely helped me out through some rough times, and I love all of you filthy animals. So thank you so much. All right. I guess that's the end of the show then. So everybody have a Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Everybody have a great Christmas. And this is a great community as always. Best part of the week is coming on here and just shooting left and right with Robbie. And Robbie got his Christmas wish. So clearly Jalen Hurts is out. So we will have to depend on Gardner Minshew, which I'm optimistic about. But yeah, full football day tomorrow, boy.
Yeah, for sure. So is Nick doing his original art show tonight?
Yes, he is doing his original art show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the Experience. So be sure to tune in. Some great stuff. Jim Aparo original art. Quite a few pieces there.
Oh, wow.
So we might have a giveaway or two, so keep an eye out for that.
Giveaway as well. And then keep in mind, we're not on the Experience on Monday, but Rob, you're going to join us on Wednesday, right?
That's right.
With Alex, so it should be a good time. All right,
that's gonna be super fun. And also remember, y'all, after Nick's show tonight, come back to PCP because it's our 5th annual Festivus stream.
There you go.
We'll be airing our grievances, everything that pissed us off this year, and we'll be showing our feats of strength. It's gonna be a good time. That's gonna be at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So, or 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yes. So right after Nick's show. So definitely be sure to check out the Festivus for the rest of us. All right. Well, we're dipping out, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Rex, Amy, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Robbie. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you again.
See you.